Ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. That's bright and early on Saturday morning. We've got a little Toro recycler to work on. So this one's got the Kohler motor, and I'm going to go through what I go through every time I pick up a mower that I don't know anything about. This one came from a ranch in Texas. I keep saying they're farms, but they're really ranches. Now, if you don't know anything about the motor at all, before you even try to start it, first thing you want to do is check the oil. Make sure that the oil exists and it's clean. Now I can see the oil right here. It doesn't have to be shiny. See, it's not black. It's a little bit brown, but it's definitely good enough for a lawnmower. Now, I don't usually do this part of the whole thing on the camera, but you can see here with the fuel filter, there's plenty of fuel in it, but she's not starting. She's not even trying to start. I might have heard the tiniest little kick, but nothing. And that tells me that the fuel's here. And it actually looks okay, but it's not finding its way into the carburetor. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to, whoa, had a little bit of wildlife going in here. We're going to go ahead and pull the air cleaner. And this is an auto choke. It's not a prime engine, so you've got a choke butterfly right there. We're going to pull the choke linkage back and spray starter fluid directly into the choke. And I saw it was closed, so it should have been priming the engine. So having the fuel in it tells me, so far, we've got one of two things. We've got a bad engine or we've got a clogged carburetor. So let's try to pull it now. Nothing on the first one. And it did exactly what I expected it to do. Tell you guys, it's always the carburetor. So this one, we're going to pull the carburetor apart, clean the jets, and see if we can't get it running. So let's get started. The Kohler motor is pretty similar to the Honda motor as far as R&R, the remove and replace stuff. It's all 10 millimeter all day long, except for maybe that one. But we won't be touching it today. Let's pull our PCV valve off. Now, take lots of pictures. You're going to want pictures of this linkage because then it can get pretty complicated. So here, we know we've got fuel. So we're going to kink it right here. And we're going to drain this old fuel off into a bucket. I'm going to get things out of the way because this part can get messy. See, we'll put our kink right here to slow the fuel down. With old fuel lines, sometimes they don't kink well. This one did okay. So we'll be back in a minute when the fuel's empty. Looking at the fuel that came out of it, it looks pretty good. It's not as bad as I expected. Now it's got some dirt in the bottom, and that came out of the bottom of the tank, but we can run it through a filter on the way back in. To remove the carburetor on one of these, there's a couple of ways you can do it. And you have a lot of people give you a lot of opinions, and none of them are necessarily wrong. It's just a matter of how hard you want to work. So you'll notice if you pull the carburetor forward and then turn this linkage, this will pop right out. And we'll pull the governor arm. So we got the governor arm and the spring out of the way, and now the tricky part. So now to get the carburetor off, we're going to put our bolts on backwards. We're going to put the bolts back onto the studs. And it's just one of those little neat tricks you'll learn along the way. Now we're going to take our 10 millimeters and snug them up. And then pull the stud. Now we'll do the same thing to remove it. Whoops. We'll do the same thing to remove it, and then we're going to repeat it on the other stud. And we're putting the bolts back to back for each other so that we can get a wrench in there easily. There's one. And there's number two. Now put a wrench on it and tighten it. Yeah. And there's the other one. I tried a lot of different ways before I came up with that. Now we're hitting Ouija and Ouija. This one doesn't quite want to let go. And we're trying to be gentle. Let's take it off the other end. And there you have it. We're going to leave that on because this doesn't want to move easily. And I don't want to take a chance on breaking it. So let's take her to the bench and clean up the jets. And you know what wrench we're grabbing for this. Same wrench we grab for everything. 10 millimeter. Ugh. There we go. And if the bolt, the golden rule of carburetors is if the bolt is steel, then the jets are going to be inside the hole right here. If the bolt is brass, there's holes in it, and that's the jet. Now the bolt's just being held on by the gasket. So let's go ahead and pop it loose. There we go. And as you can see, the gas was flowing into the carburetor. All sorts of other creatures flowing into the carburetor too. So now we need to remove the jet. And we're going to do that with a long screwdriver. Put a screwdriver straight down the hole. And now the jets on this one are just seized up. And unfortunately, the person who worked on this carburetor last time beat the threads up. It's got two little notches in the jets, and they're too beat up to get this jet out easily. And looking at that, and looking at the bolt, and this is rust. This carburetor, I'm going to go ahead and put it to the side and get a $15 replacement. So we'll see you tomorrow with a new carburetor. It's for now it's first thing Sunday morning. Now our parts came in last night, so let's get this thing back together. So I've got this linkage hooked up here, and we're going to go ahead and drop it in the choke mechanism. Easy peasy while it's like this. This gasket's still in place, so we don't have to even think about that. And we know that we can hook these up last minute after everything's already bolted together. So let's make sure this gasket's the right one in the right place. Up, up, up. And I'm matching the press pattern that was on it before. Yep, and that's how that gasket goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread in our studs. Then we're going to thread them here. And get them started. I see lots of people change these out and put studs in these. Personally, I prefer the bolts, but if you like the studs, go with the studs. Now when I'm putting these back in, we put them in a little bit different than we took them out. We're just going to take one bolt with a deep well. And if you saw, we went to the end of the threads. And it's in. And I didn't try to force it in. When I got to the end of the threads here, I know I'm also going through the air cleaner, so we should be good to go. It'll have plenty of tightness, and these don't have to be torqued in. Okay, where's our cutters at? Okay, now I'm noticing the new carburetor has a considerably bigger nipple than the old one, but I want to use this. So we're going to try to get her to work anyway. We're going to need a larger clamp. Had to wrestle the fuel line quite a bit, but we got her on. So now we're going to put our linkage back, and you can see sliding it out. Putting it on that way is easy peasy. And be gentle on the spring. or it will come back to bite you. Now we get our air box back in place. All our assorted Kohler specific air lines. And put our last gasket in. Okay, we don't do a lot of Kohlers around here, so cross your fingers. With a little bit of luck, this will start just like an old Briggs motor will. She sounds pretty good, and that means all the springs are good, the choke's working correctly. We're pretty happy. Now for the big part. Okay, the drive system is way too touchy on this, so we're going to loosen that up a little bit. We'll put it right about. Let's pull it back just a little. Right about there. This one's much easier to work with than most of them. Let's try it now. That's a pretty happy little mower. So we redid the carburetor, put new fuel line on it, and pretty much put gas in it. She's happy, and a minor adjustment. So all that's left is a quick pressure clean, and she's good to go. So all you new people, if you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. It's free, and it's what we work for. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.